How's it going, guys? My name is Vinci and we're here with another video. I'm gonna work out a drawing, but before I do that, I'm gonna read a page from this book because I want to. It is July 1st. Do your job. Whatever anyone does or says, for my part, I'm bound to do good. In the same way, an emerald or gold or purple might always proclaim, whatever anyone does or says, I must be what I am and show my true colors. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believe that every person, animal, and thing has a purpose or place in nature. Even in ancient Greek and Roman times, they vaguely understood that the world was composed of millions of tiny atoms. It was this idea, this sense of an interconnected cosmos, part of a larger system. Everyone had a job, a specific duty, even people who did bad things. They were doing their job of being evil because evil is a part of life. The most critical part of this system was a belief that you, the student who has sought out Stoicism, have the most important job: to be good, to be wise, to remain the person that philosophy wished to make us. Do your job today. Whatever happens, whatever other people's jobs happen to be, do yours. Be good. Hey guys, my name is Vinci and we are here back with another video. I'm going to do a drawing of the late and great Kobe Bryant with pencil. All of the supplies I'm going to be using are going to be down in the description, and they are affiliate links, so if you want to support me and my channel, go get some art supplies, go test your drawing skills, and yeah, I appreciate the support. So, starting off, I have a compass, and I'm gonna make the most major circle in this drawing, and I'm gonna find the center of where I want that to be, and I have this grid laid out to make finding where I want to place things easy for me, so this process doesn't have to take 100 years. I can just spend an hour on a drawing instead of 5. Speed is king sometimes. But you also want to be the tortoise instead of the hare. Work fast and smart, but also work efficiently. So at the bottom of this 5th square is the base of his nose. That's a good landmark to start off with. Slightly above his nose are his ears. You can just mark those out. In the beginning stages of a drawing, it's nice to work with a soft pencil. Makes things easy to work with. So right now I'm just thinking about basic architecture inside the face, just by connecting the dots of the proportions I triangulate on this drawing. These are what I like to think of as the rotation line, so you can imagine this coming and wrapping around the head towards the back, and it makes a circle. Just some imaginary lines you draw to help you think about shape can make things nice and convenient while you're shading, even continuing the drawing process. Tops of the ears are slightly uneven. We have a wonderful foundation to go off of here. So I am gonna look toward the most important keystone I haven't said anything in... Wow. I haven't said anything in 15 minutes. Okay. We're continuing on with this sketch. I have the outline almost finished. And here I am keeping in mind all of the major elements. And in doing that, I'm just mapping out light, dark spots. Where do I want highlights? Where do I want shadows? Where do I want the eye to go? How can I continue to develop this piece? These are all things to be thinking about in this stage. And with this suit, and usually like these bottom shapes, I like to use boxy forms. A lot of sharp angles, straight lines. Anything that's gonna sharply contrast the smooth elements of the face, and I plan on keeping it shaded so it'll be quite smooth versus this rigid shape down here. Ooh, this looks a little off right here. Maybe I missed the mark with the collar of his shirt. Off by an order of magnitude. This is why you check your drawings. Because when you first lay it down on the paper, oh, that looks right, but you're off by a whole inch and a half. I knew something looked funky. You don't always know what it is right away, but something will be screaming at you, and it might even whisper to you. It doesn't always have to be yelling. It'll sometimes be just a quiet voice you hear in the back of your head, but you should be able to tell if something's off. You just have to feel it. Now, this is the second Kobe Bryant drawing I have done in the past 2 weeks. And the first one was good. I did it in color. It was good, but there was something off about it. It wasn't quite what I hoped for when I originally imagined drawing. And that's why I am back to the drawing board. This was a piece that I've been meaning to do for a long time. I've never been able to do it to my ability. We can block this in too. And you know what? This piece, a halo would fit perfectly. You just can't go wrong with a nice halo. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself with the shading, I just wanted to make this bottom portion clear to my vision, and I wanted to continue on developing this sketch because it is not up to par yet. It's getting there. It's close, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite there yet. Because if you're off by millimeters in the places of these key features, you're off by just the slightest tenth of a degree, it will change the entire picture. Sometimes it's easy for things to get lost and faces to turn into new people when you're drawing portraits. So you have to be mindful of everything you're doing. Seems this side of the head got pushed a little too far out. Maybe this side too. Add a little bit of subtlety to the shape of the connecting lips and below, and add a little bit of shadow. One thing you don't want to do is to get impatient and skip steps when you're drawing, because it's easy to do a quick study and think you got the handle of something, but sometimes you just need to push it a little further, take it a little further than you originally meant to. Take a little extra time to develop some shadows, to create some shape, to make sure you have dimension. It's all about going the extra mile. So as I continue with this drawing, I'm going to slowly move from soft to a harder pencil. And the harder pencil is just easier to create a fine gradation between shadows. So yeah, start soft. I'm also going to start defining some of my core shadows within my sketch. Sometimes when you are developing your sketch, it can be hard to tell if the lines you have laid down are where they should be. And you can kind of get in a battle with yourself, just moving things back and forth. But sometimes things may look a little off, but they're only off because your drawing isn't fully developed yet in terms of shading. So you just have to Keep picking apart details, keep working through ideas as you sketch. Keep adding lines. Every single mark on the piece of paper adds a little bit of character. Even the mistakes you make, the errors, the erroneous line, all of it adds value to your drawing. All of it adds a little bit of character. There is simply value in the fact that it is made by you, a unique person. A part of this collective renaissance. Because the world may seem like it's falling apart, and it may actually be falling apart, but I think we're gonna turn out better because of it. Chaos can create change, radical change. It's crazy to think in December the world was completely different. Only a short 7 months ago. Things have changed and they will never go back to the way they once were. Kobe's passing felt like the start, the beginning of the roller coaster. You had the feeling in the pit of your stomach like you knew this year might go awry. But we still had hope. In December and January, I was like, 2020 is gonna be my year. I feel like a lot of people were saying that. But I really believe the world is gonna come out a better place because of all of this violence and chaos and madness the world is currently going through. Maybe uncomfortable, but things will turn out okay. So I'm adding layers to develop some more shape in the face. To add a little softness and to define these characteristics. Because I've defined all of the core shadows to a degree in a nice neutral shade, I can come back over with a slightly darker color and make things recede. I can blend these things together. this piece. For time's sake, I would usually pick up the pace here and move towards finishing this piece. But as I want to continue growing and evolving, I'm gonna take a slightly different approach, but I can go quite soft here to speed up this process of darkening some of these areas. Just to get him covered. We have no expectations for perfection. I think a nice contrast against this black and white drawing is gonna be a color. Maybe some kind of orangish yellow. I was looking at some masterwork paintings this morning, and who did I find? It was Peter Paul Rubens, and it was a heavenly depiction. And I remember this yellow-orange glow in the background that really made this piece. It made it bang. I don't know how else to put it. It just makes it a banger. If you know about bangers, I commend you. Okay, let's go back down to 2 and keep working into this suit, because I know I can make this suit accent this piece perfectly. I know if I just take the time to slowly move through and smoothly shade, it's gonna look amazing. It's gonna look like suede. Suede? Is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Just want it to look nice and smooth to the touch. Like an expensive suit should feel. It should feel expensive, hemmed, every stitch in its place. Another good thing about this suit is that compositionally it draws your eye exactly where I want it to, toward the face. The suit is designed to have all of these lines going up and pointing at your face, taking attention right toward the person. Exactly where it should be. Attention should not be on the suit, that's secondary. A suit can make a man, but the man makes the suit. I have this piece of paper. Normally I would do this with a paper towel or something, but you make do. I don't have paper towels. Sue me. But you just have to be a little bit mindful of your scrubbing. Try to make it go with the flow of your drawing. You don't want things and marks where they shouldn't be, for the most part. Nice and smooth. I'm gonna take the time to clean up some of my mistakes and sloppiness, because what I'm doing in this step is essentially taking a few steps back by smoothing everything out. I'm making everything just a bit more neutral. It also, I find that to be a nice effect inside of a drawing, and it's not too hard to achieve, so we can include it. I want this halo to clear. I don't want any debris whatsoever because I'm going to be using a different medium for that space. Now is also a good time to define all of your highlights before you move in with a charcoal pencil. Move in for the kill. And this is all going to be quite stark white, so I try not to leave any stray pencil in the areas where I want highlights to be, because that pencil will turn it gray, which is not a bad thing. Grays can be useful and helpful in the right areas, but I do not want the highlights to be white, or gray, I mean. They can be sort of gray. I feel like that bow tie adds a lot of value and character. And I also feel like I can do it correctly to where it accents Kobe quite nicely. I feel like I want to make a t-shirt with quite nicely on it. Here we have a 2H pencil to work in and develop my shadows. Make sure everything is super crisp and complementary. I highly recommend doing many different studies of the things you want to draw, because you'll be surprised by what you come up with by simply trying new techniques, working with different mediums, and just developing fundamental skills, like developing shadows, for example. I feel that I continue to learn new things every single time that I draw. Because I always find something to change. I always find a new avenue to take, or a new idea to work with. The quality of your art doesn't matter at all. I feel like this past generation of art and artists have shown that quality can be quite irrelevant unless you want actual good art. Serious collectors and auction houses, galleries, all want art that is of a high caliber. And if it's not of a high caliber, sometimes that's all the better. because art is subjective. There are no real rules. So a shitty Degas painting can sell for multi-millions. For a lot of reasons. A lot of it's branding, it's just marketing. The names of the artists are almost more important than the art. But at the end of the day, that's all you really have, is your reputation. You can have lots of stuff and cars and money and houses, whatever. But if you have a shitty reputation, nobody's gonna want to deal with you. Like, for example, Antonio Brown. This guy was the best wide receiver in the NFL for years. I'm talking many years consecutive. But he went off the rails. He started being a little bit of a drama queen. And some shit went down and every team dropped him, and he's now out of a job because he doesn't have a good reputation. And he probably won't have a job for some time in the NFL. But like that passage I read in the beginning of this video, you just gotta do you. Be the truest to yourself that you can be, with skill and finesse. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is what you do. And if you do doggo bark, bark. And if you do shitty things and you're a shitty person, your reputation will reflect that. So even if you're not that good today, you can still work towards building that reputation and building everything you need. Because all of it is within you, all of it is within your power. Whether you know it or not, the purpose of life is to evolve. From survival to our character, we have to evolve all aspects of ourselves or die. And it's ingrained into nature, into our society, to move forward, to develop skills, to make new products, to create new things. It's what we do as people. So you gotta be comfortable with the growing pains, because it's not easy. It's anything but easy, but if you do it correctly, that same force that gave you the uncomfortable growing pains will also reward you for your trouble, for your evolution. So take the time and take a step back. See where you are in real time. Observe yourself, sit with yourself, and see what is. Because you may realize that the only way to go is up. The only thing left to do is evolve, to develop and master not only yourself, but a skill. And through that mastery of a skill, in this pursuit of evolution, you'll find that it is a self-fulfilling wheel. So by striving for change, and by putting yourself in these uncomfortable situations, you are fulfilling the purpose of life. The universe is mental. Your entire experience is created by you. Your words, your thoughts, your actions, your life. It's all created by you. And you can create this reality unconsciously or consciously. Whatever you choose, you are still creating it. And there are many unseen levels to this reality. There are many unseen forces moving behind the scenes, shifting and rotating and orbiting around each other. Like the moon creating the waves in the ocean. There's no way you would know the moon is doing that unless you study it, of course. But it's an unseen force that's moving through our reality. Affecting our reality. The more you are aware of those unseen forces, the more you can move with them and be like water, as Jackie Chan says. The things that I have been fascinated with in the past few months have been kind of a wild ride to research, because I've explored a lot of topics such as achieving enlightenment and Buddhism, Taoism, dream yoga, the occult, alchemy. There's a lot of interesting reading to do. And in this process for learning and searching for truth on my own has been quite a wild ride. Because you learn a lot about yourself. You find your shadow. You learn things that you've never expected to learn about yourself before. but here they are, presented to you. And you can choose to be ignorant of them, or you can make yourself aware. And the majority of people remain ignorant. Because there's ignorance in bliss. The truth isn't always comfortable. It isn't always pleasing. It's easy to brush it under the rug. To think about it tomorrow. That's why I never understood people who lie. And I remember as a kid, I would lie all the time too. But at one point, I just told myself, I just thought to myself, if I never have to lie, I can never be caught up in a lie, and you just don't have to lie if you're just always telling the truth and you're always being true to yourself. You don't have to fake smiles. You don't have to live by somebody else's rules. You can live by your truth. You can do things your way. You can live your own life. It doesn't have to be governed by some external force. You are your own person. You are everything. The world we live in has enough value and resources for everyone. There is no shortage. Scarcity is, for the most part, in your mind. I have this thing that is art, that is creating, that is everything you see in front of you right now, and it's all I need. I don't need anything else. I don't need a job. I don't even need money. No matter what, I have myself, my art, and my hands. The ability to create. I can go anywhere. You can place me in any city with nothing around the world, and I'll find my way, because I don't need to rely on external things or people, or if I had it my way, I don't know what point I'm trying to make right now. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. Oh my god, we're reaching the 2-hour mark. Holy fuck. So we're reaching 2 hours. This is gonna be a nightmare to edit. Maybe it won't be. Maybe everything will be okay. I haven't even started adding white yet. Fuck. And I'm gonna slowly move with the shading I've created. And because of the patience I had before, this step is quite easy. It seems like I'm filling up the coloring book at this point, because all of my key areas have been laid out. They've been developed. And the only thing left are these positive spaces for me to fill in. to slowly work this in with my shadows, blending them together, creating a nice seamless edge. And the last piece, the second to last piece, I still have to do the halo. But this shirt is an important element because it's just going to be stark white to contrast this suit right here. Moving back over details in this piece, I am just covering spots that are left open, covering up my mistakes that were sloppily laid in earlier, and then darkening areas the feeling I'm looking to create when I am doing this is that of light. So I'm gonna lay a highlight, this bright yellow color, all the way around the edges of his head. And I really have to stay out of all of the graphite on this paper. And there's quite a bit of it, so I'm gonna take my time just filling this in. Sometimes the simpler route is the best one to take. It's easy to get too complex, to take things to a place that's not needed, to add extra things, to have unnecessary edits. Believe me, it's quite easy to do. The real skill is telling yourself no. To edit things out, to move in a different direction, to opt for the better option. Now, the last step. Instead, I am going to use white around the edge of Kobe's head to make it appear as if it's glowing, like a halo. So while I'm doing this, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for making it this far in the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I also have my website linked if you want to check out the art, any merch, your engagement, your comments. Everything goes towards helping me learn and develop my skills as an artist. The smallest things really go a long way, and I am forever grateful for all you guys who support me and buy my art and share my stuff on social media. It means a lot. Yeah, thanks for watching.